So you know that there is a very small amount of animals on this earth that I think cannot beat me in a fight. Wait, I said that backwards. There's a very large list of animals on this earth that cannot beat me in a fight. Well, there's some animals that aren't supposed to exist that I still want to see if I could take or not. This is every hybrid animal that shouldn't be able to exist. Now, off the rip, this right here is a liger, and I say it's a 50-50 shot. I do think it's 50-50. It's not that I win easily, it's just that it's very much possible.
The liger.
Right.
When a male lion breeds with a female tiger, the result is an animal that breaks every size limit.
Why is Cardi B the result? Why is Cardi B the spokesperson for the result of an animal that breaks every single scale? I mean, you feel me? She is fine. She break scale that way.
His parents followed. Ligers grow continuously throughout their lives because they lack the growth-inhibiting genes both parent species.
Okay, I promise I'm not gonna stop crazy. I can't lose to something that's out of shape. I just can't. He's out of shape. He's out of shape. That doesn't kill me. I'm sorry. That doesn't kill me. He literally can't. Okay, all right.
He's carry, reaching lengths of 11 feet and weights of over 900 pounds. That makes them the largest living cats on Earth, bigger than either lions or tigers by a significant margin. The genetic incompatibility here runs deep. Lions and tigers split off from each other around 2 million years ago, developing different chromosome numbers and gene expression patterns that were never meant to recombine. What happens when they do recombine is something evolution never planned for. Male ligers
if you guys could combine with one animal, right? If you could combine with one animal, where do you go? I'm not gonna lie, I overly go octopus. I think octopus is the only answer here. I feel like you gotta go octopus. Like, okay, owls, some type of bird. I see where your guys' mind is at. You get what I'm saying? But really think about like, no, nobody's with me. Elephant, okay. I'm not mad at these crows. There's a lot of birds in here. Yo, sexy, I was thinking chameleon first too, I'm not gonna lie.
Sterile because of mismatched sex chromosomes, and even the females rarely produce offspring. The few that do are breeding genetic confusion into an already confused genome. These animals also suffer from a laundry list of health problems.
Octopus, yeah, because octopus is one of the only, isn't an octopus one of the only things that could like remake itself? Like from like infant years? Or maybe that's a jellyfish? I think it's both. It might be both.
Including heart defects, neurological issues, and shortened lifespans. Their size isn't a feature, it's a malfunction. Growth regulation failed, and the result just happens to look impressive until you realize it's walking evidence of genetic systems that shouldn't have mixed. And they only exist because humans put the parent species together in captivity. Nature built that 2 million year wall for a reason.
And I think they collapse on their own weights. Azores? What the heck is Azores?
Azores. Zebras and horses look similar enough that people assume they're close relatives, but their genetics tell a different story.
That has to make a crazy steak.
Horses carry 64 chromosomes.
Stanley looks so breedable. What does that even, what? Yo, genuinely? Yo, kid, we have to have some type of boundaries. We have to have some type of boundaries, man. What is happening, bruh? What is going on, bruh? Lock in, gang.
While zebras range from 32 to 46 depending on the species. And when you cross them, the offspring ends up with an odd number that makes reproduction impossible. Zorses are always sterile because their cells can't divide properly during meiosis, the process that creates—
They look cool though, I'll give it that.
—sex cells. What you get is a horse-sized animal with zebra striping, usually on the legs.
You think the steak got stripe on it?
And sometimes across the body, combined with a temperament that splits the difference between domestic and wild. And that temperament split is where things get difficult.
Why is that line
between domestic and wild? And that temperament split is where—
Why is this lion going? Why is it so clearly doing that?
Things get difficult. Horses have been selectively bred for thousands of years to tolerate humans and follow commands. Zebras have not. Zorses inherit
This is gonna be my kids because I need them all like 6'12" Duncan.
the zebra's skittishness, aggression, and flat refusal to be ridden in most cases, which makes them nearly useless for the work people originally tried to breed them for. The genetic incompatibility isn't just chromosomal, it's behavioral, and no amount of training fully bridges that gap. They exist because humans wanted a disease-resistant pack animal that could survive in tsetse fly regions of Africa. What they got was a genetic dead end with stripes. Evolution kept horses and zebras separate across millions of years of divergence.
Zebras are more like donkeys and they are more aggressive and independent. Do they make a good steak? Am I tripping? Are those not steak animals?
The zorse is what happens when you ignore that. The wolfen. Only 2 of
A wolf dolphin?
these animals are alive
A whale dolphin.
right now, and only 3 have ever been born in captivity.
We don't eat horses? Are horses not steak? Are horses not steak? What's steak? Steak is cow. Don't piss me off. Yo, what's a horse game? Steak is cow, big bro. So that's not just like ground beef.
Yeah.
Steak is cow. I mean, that's a cow. We're so cooked. No, the cow cooked. I mean, right. I know duck neck is a thing. Okay, feel me? Lock in. All right, I'm sorry.
Wolfen is the offspring of a false killer whale and a bottlenose dolphin.
The kid in chat just said you're an idiot. That's it.
Species from entirely different genera that should not be producing viable young. The parents are separated by size, behavior, social structure, and millions of years of evolutionary divergence, yet somehow their genetics were compatible enough to create fertile offspring. The first wolfen, Kekai Malu, was born in 1985
Fire.
at Sea Life Park in Hawaii, and she later gave birth to a calf of her own,
Fire.
proving that these hybrids aren't just viable, they're fertile.
Oh,
That's
wow.
unusual. Most hybrids, especially ones crossing genus lines, are sterile.
So these are legitimately like the light skins of the ocean.
The fact that wolfens can
No
reproduce
wonder dolphins are evil. Wait. No, hold on. Let me let it simmer. Let me learn some more facts.
suggests the genetic
Stanley,
barrier
you beating a wolfen? Let's not ask dumb questions, bro. Let them have their moment to shine.
between false killer whales and bottlenose dolphins is thinner than it should be. False killer whales aren't actually killer whales, despite the name. They're a separate species entirely, more closely related to pilot whales, which makes the whole cross even stranger. The size difference between the parents is dramatic. False killer whales can reach lengths of 20 feet,
Okay.
while bottlenose dolphins top out around 12.
Right.
The wolfen falls somewhere in between, with features blended from
Okay.
both parents, including tooth count, fin shape, and coloration.
Okay.
There's no wild population of these animals, and likely never will be, because the parent species don't share the same ranges or social behaviors. This is a captivity-only phenomenon, and an incredibly rare one. Evolution built
Okay, this isn't a bad one. Like, this one doesn't, like, just make, like, the world end.
separate paths for these species. The wolfen exists anyway. The coy wolf. Eastern coyotes aren't pure coyotes
And a
anymore.
koi fish? Am I... Coyote. Yo. I'm thinking koi fish and a wolf. No, it's a coyote and a wolf. But you can't cap. When you think of... If I say, yo... Hold on. If I say, yo, think of the first animal that comes to your head when I say koi, you're going to say fish. Facts. 10 times out of 10... 10 times... No. You guys aren't being real right now. 10 times out of 10, if I ask you, think of an animal that starts with koi, you're going to say fish. You're not going to go coyote. You feel me? It's coyote. You feel what I'm saying? It should be called a kai wolf. Facts. It should be called a kai wolf. Facts. You feel me? So no, I don't take blame for this one. I'm not gonna lie. Juju B was good. Hey Bookie. Hey Stink. How you doing, Stinks? I'm streaming right now. Mind you, this is probably our second interaction ever on like just within the stream.
More. And DNA testing has revealed why. They're hybrids, carrying wolf and dog genetics mixed into their genome. This cross happened naturally, as wolves were extirpated from the eastern United States, and coyotes moved into that empty territory, encountering remnant wolf populations and feral dogs along the way. The genetic incompatibility between coyotes, wolves, and dogs is low, because all three are members of the genus Canis, but they're still distinct species with different...
There's somebody in California right now breeding them like this on purpose, by the way. And I know that for a fact, because I promise, I just seen a wolf. Oh no, this is wolf and coyote though. I seen wolf dogs like 3 days ago.
Different chromosome counts and behaviors that should have kept them separate. Coyotes are smaller, solitary or small pack hunters. Wolves are larger, highly social pack hunters. Dogs are domesticated with suppressed hunting instincts. Coy wolves inherit traits from all three. They're larger than pure coyotes, reaching weights of 55 to 60 pounds, with stronger jaws and more wolf-like skulls.
Okay.
They also hunt in larger packs than coyotes, and show less fear of humans than wolves, which makes them incredibly adaptable to urban and suburban environments. The hybrid has spread across the northeastern United States and southeastern Canada, thriving in areas where pure coyotes would struggle. What makes this particularly striking is that the hybrid is fertile and actively replacing pure coyote populations. The genetic mixing isn't a dead end. It's creating a new form that's more successful than the parent species in human-altered landscapes. Evolution should have kept these canids separate.
That's actually crazy. Replacing the original population on some new features, that's actually crazy.
Through size, behavior, and range. Habitat destruction forced them together, and the resulting hybrid is outcompeting both parents.
Wow.
Growler bears. These animals are showing up in the wild now, and it's happening more often. A growler bear...
Gorilla and a bear. My final answer. My final answer, gorilla and a bear. That has to be that. I'm not gonna lie. That's gorilla bears. Is that not gorilla bear? Grizzly and a bear. Yo, I'm actually okay. Okay, no, you're right. It's grizzly. Like it is grizzly, but I feel like they could have said that better, bruh. Grizzly and alright, bro, whatever, bruh. Grizzly and polar don't piss me off. There's no way. Is this polar? I didn't even know what the other bear was. I did not know what the other bear was, gang. Is it a polar bear? I was so stuck on the fact that it had to be a grizzly mixed with a bear that it's not a grizzly, or not a grizzly, a gorilla mixed with a bear. It's a grizzly and a polar bear. Yeah, y'all are right.
Showing up in the wild now, and it's happening more often.
You're right.
A growler bear, also called a pizzly, is the offspring of a polar bear and a grizzly bear. Two species that split from a common ancestor around 600,000 years ago and adapted to completely different environments. Polar bears evolved for life on sea ice, hunting seals and surviving Arctic extremes. Grizzlies stayed on land, omnivorous and adaptable. Their ranges didn't overlap, so they didn't interbreed. Then, climate change started shrinking the sea ice, pushing polar bears onto land during longer ice-free periods. And suddenly, the two species were in the same territory at the same time.
That's so whack. That's so whack. Why don't it work right here? If a polar bear loses his home, he goes up to a grizzly, they lay up together. Aw, look how cute that is. I lose my home, go homeless, show up to old girl crib, and now it's Stanley, what are you doing here? Get off my couch. Nature is so fake, nigga. Nature is so fake. Nature's so fake, because nowhere else does that work. Nowhere else can a nigga lose his home. Oh, you've been here for 2 weeks. Get your socks off my counter. First of all, I would have put it on your counter if your counter had coasters. I had used the sock as a coaster because I'm tired of putting watermarks all over the counter. It's wood and it's not even stained. Every time the water leak at the bottom of the cup, it leaves a stain there. So I put my sock under it so the water wouldn't stay on the table. You should be grateful that my sock is a coaster because your lazy ass don't want to go get coasters. But no, but that's Mother Nature. But no, Mother Nature. Alright, bro. Watch out, bro.
The first confirmed wild growler bear was shot in 2006 in the Canadian Arctic.
You speaking from experience? No, that never happened before.
Since then, more have been documented, and DNA testing has confirmed some are second-generation hybrids, meaning the offspring are fertile and breeding with each other or backcrossing with parent species. That's a problem, or at least a huge shift, because it suggests the genetic separation between these species isn't as rigid as we thought. Growler bears have physical traits from both parents: lighter brown fur than a grizzly, longer claws than a polar bear, a head shape somewhere in between. They're also behaviorally unpredictable, inheriting the polar bear's lack of fear toward humans and the grizzly's territorial aggression. What makes this hybrid particularly significant is that it's not a captivity accident.
So wait. So if it's I hate when I do that. So when it's isn't it if it's wait, what is it? It's if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, get on the ground. And then if it's white, it's good night or something like that, right? Like if it's a polar bear, you're cooked. So if it's a grizzly polar bear, do I just get like on my knee on some shit? Like I don't like what is the I feel like you just square up at a lower angle or something. You gotta make sure you protect the chin though. Don't let it swipe at you. Hold on. But like, is that not what you would have to do at that point? I feel like that's the answer. And I could be bugging though.
Happening in nature, driven by environmental change. Evolution separated these species over hundreds of thousands of years. Climate is collapsing that separation in decades. Blood parrot cichlid. This fish shouldn't exist,
Got great
and
lips,
its
though.
body makes that abundantly clear. The blood parrot cichlid is a hybrid created by crossing two separate species of Central American cichlids.
Okay.
Most likely the Midas cichlid and the red.
Got a dome on them. Oh my gosh, that might be the first fish that doesn't have the attention span of a goldfish. That might be the first fish that remembers everything, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. It can remember every tadpole's name by like. It can remember every tadpole by the face, gang. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Damn. That Joe got a cranium on his smart ass fish. This Joe never got caught. Holy.
Though breeders who created it in Taiwan in the 1980s never disclosed the exact parent species. The genetic incompatibility manifests physically. Blood parrots have deformed mouths that don't close properly, making feeding difficult. Their spines are often curved, compressing internal organs. Many have swim bladder problems that affect buoyancy control. These aren't minor defects. They're systemic failures caused by mixing two species with incompatible skeletal and organ development patterns. The fish can't reproduce naturally.
Oh my gosh, imagine just, oh man, that's horrible.
In most cases because males are sterile, a common outcome when crossing cichlid species with different chromosome numbers. The ones that do breed usually require artificial intervention. What's disturbing is that these fish are bred commercially by the thousands and sold as ornamental pets despite the obvious welfare problems. The bright orange-red coloration and heart-shaped body profile are considered desirable in the aquarium trade, so the genetic train wreck continues. This isn't adaptation or survivals, it's forced hybridization for aesthetics. Evolution gave these parent species separate niches and reproductive barriers for a reason.
I mean, I would understand maybe like,
Gave these parent
if like the fish said like LV right here, you mean? Maybe if it had like some like red and green stripes or something. Even some chrome heart logo or something. But you just doing this on a regular fish, bro, that's messed up, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even designer. I felt, and realistically, if we're keeping it a whole band, I feel there's better fish with no disrespect, Mr. Fish. I feel like there's better fish at base stats than this fish that I'm looking at, and you don't have to like ruin their life for it. I'm not gonna lie.
She's separate niches and reproductive barriers for a reason. Aquarium breeders ignored all of it. By the way, if you're enjoying learning about these creatures, I post content like this regularly. I'd appreciate if you subscribed. Thanks. The Cama. This hybrid only exists because of artificial insemination, and that tells you most of what you need to know about the genetic compatibility here. A Cama is a cross between a
That's the first one I got right. I'm so happy. Oh my gosh, that's the first one I got right. I'm so happy. Holy, yes. A camel and a llama, yes.
Dromedary camel and a llama, two species from the same family, but separated by 30 million years of evolution and an entire ocean.
Yo, what we watching? We are watching every hybrid animal that shouldn't be able to exist.
Camels evolved in the Middle East and Asia, llamas in South America, and they were never going to meet naturally. The size difference alone makes natural breeding impossible.
Shout out to those people on Hinge who like have their location settings set to like 150,000 miles away and meet like some random girl in France, and then y'all become pen pals, and then you fly out to France or she flies out to you and y'all go see each other and actually make it work. Cause it's like, dang, without like that like internet interference, y'all really more than likely would have never met in life. But because like the infrastructure exists, it's like, dang, I met my wife and I met my husband. It's like, this is the same thing. I'm not gonna lie.
A male camel weighs around 1,400 pounds. A female llama around 300. The first Cama was born in 1998 at the Camel Reproduction Center in Dubai using artificial insemination, with the goal of creating an animal that combined the llama's fine wool with the camel's size and strength. What they got was a small, llama-sized animal with camel-like features, including short ears, a long tail, and no hump. Camas are sterile, which isn't surprising given the genetic distance between parent species and the mismatched chromosome counts. They also inherit temperament traits from both sides, which means unpredictable aggression and difficulty handling.
Yo, hold on, what you trying to do is been a minute, like. You gotta chill. You gotta chill. It's summer. Feel me? It's on there.
The project hasn't expanded beyond a handful of experimental animals because the practical benefits don't outweigh the complications. Evolution separated these species across continents and tens of millions of years. Artificial insemination forced them back together for wool. The Naluga. Scientists didn't even know this hybrid existed until they tested the DNA of a skull that had been sitting in a museum collection for decades. In the 1980s, an Inuit hunter in Greenland shot
Finding out a previous hybrid existence was a thing is so dope.
Unusual whale and kept the skull, which was later donated to the Natural History Museum of Denmark. The skull had strange teeth, intermediate in structure between a narwhal's straight tusk and the beluga's conical teeth. Nobody knew what species it belonged to until genetic testing in 2019 revealed it was a hybrid of a female narwhal and a male beluga. These are two distinct Arctic whale species that occupy overlapping ranges but have different diets, social structures, and vocalizations. Belugas eat fish and invertebrates near the seafloor. Narwhals hunt deeper, targeting Arctic cod and squid. The reproductive systems apparently align well enough to produce viable offspring, though how often it happens in the wild is unknown. This is the only confirmed specimen, but that doesn't mean it's the only one that ever existed. The genetic barrier between these species is low enough that crossbreeding is possible, and both species are under pressure from climate change and shifting sea ice patterns. If their ranges continue to overlap more frequently, we might see more Narlugas, or we might not. We're still not entirely sure why this hybrid happened or whether it was fertile. What we do know is that two species we thought were reproductively isolated weren't as separate as their evolutionary divergence suggested.
I just know that this was the best Pixar movie that they had, like all the way back in whatever BC, AC, DC universe. I know MCU. Whenever this took place, I knew this was like the biggest Pixar movie ever. There were like probably some forbidden love between two species that shouldn't be around each other because that's just not the narwhal way. And they still just chose love and had like kids anyways. You feel me? That's beautiful.
The skull sat unidentified for 30 years. The hybrid was real the whole time. The Leopon. Leopards and lions can produce offspring, but they usually don't survive. A
Leopards and
leopon is
lion?
the result of a male leopard
That joint's fire, though.
breeding with a female lion, and the genetic mismatch creates physical deformities that often prove fatal. The size difference
It
between
also creates fire.
parents is significant. Male leopards weigh around 200 pounds, female lions around 300.
Small lad leopard. Small lad leopard need to get his weight up. You feel me, chat? Small lad leopard. Small lad leopard, man. He need to get his weight up. No cat, man.
Offspring tend toward the larger end of that range, which creates birthing complications and high infant mortality rates. The few leopons that survive to adulthood show a mix of traits from both parents, including a lion's body build with a leopard's rosette spotting and a short mane in males. But the real incompatibility shows up in skull structure. Leopons often have misshapen heads with malformed jaws that affect their ability to eat properly, and many suffer from neurological problems linked to brain development issues. These animals are almost always sterile.
Okay, this one right here doesn't look that cool. I cannot lie. This one's fake, though. Oh, yeah, this one's in the museum. Okay.
And even when females are fertile, the health problems are severe enough that breeding programs don't continue. The genetic distance between leopards and lions is enough that their development pathways
Cue the bomb! You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it will never work. You got me suicidal. This is over. You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it will never work. You got me suicide. And you say it's over. And GTA. It started at the park, used to chill after dark. Oh, where we fell apart. That's when we fell apart. Oh, yes, it lasted. It was back in 99 where we had our first time. Oh, we didn't care. We did it everywhere. And we both know that it lasted. You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it would never work. You got me oh, yeah. What's good, beautiful?
Flicked during gestation. You get an animal that's viable at birth, but compromised in almost every system. There are only a handful of documented leopons in history, all born in captivity, and none lived particularly long. Evolution kept these species separate for a reason. The leopon is evidence of what happens when you ignore that. Hybrid pheasants. Ring-necked pheasants and green pheasants interbreed in Japan where their ranges overlap, and the result is a genetic mess that's causing conservation headaches.
You feel me, AB? It's looking a little, you mean?
These are two distinct species with different plumage, calls, and mating displays. But their genetics are compatible enough that they produce fertile hybrids when they come into contact. The problem is that green pheasants are native to Japan and considered a national symbol, while ring-necked pheasants were introduced from China for hunting.
Ring-neck just sounds racially discriminative. Like, I don't know. Something about it just doesn't make me feel okay. Like, it just sounds like, you mean? Like, something about it, like, I'm not gonna do it because, like, I'm on camera, but, like, say it, like, aggressively in your house right now, you're gonna feel like, damn, you mean? It just sounds crazy, I'm not gonna lie.
Is diluting the pure green pheasant population,
Right,
and some regions now have more hybrids than purebreds. The genetic incompatibility here isn't reproductive, it's behavioral. The two species have different courtship displays and vocalizations, which should function as—
He said it in all caps in the chat, and then he was like, yeah, I feel it. This nigga really went through the whole hypothesis, thesis, statement, and everything, bro.
reproductive barriers keeping them separate. Male ringnecks have a loud, crowing call and aggressive territorial displays. Green pheasants are quieter and less confrontational. Hybrids inherit
Oh shoot, I'm like a green pheasant for real nonchalant.
mixed signals from both parents, which confuses mate selection and leads to further interbreeding. This isn't just happening with pheasants. Multiple game bird species hybridize in captivity and in areas where humans have introduced non-native species. The genetic barriers exist, but they're not strong enough to prevent crossbreeding when the species are forced into contact. Evolution built behavioral differences to keep these birds apart. Human introduction of invasive species collapsed those barriers. The zoo. High in the Himalayas, herders have been crossing domestic cattle with wild yaks for
Wait, the
centuries.
what?
High in the Himalayas, invasive species collapsed those barriers.
What are these called?
Breeding when the species are forced into contact. Evolution built behavioral differences to keep these birds apart. Human introduction of invasive species collapsed those barriers. The zoo.
The zoo? The zoo? The zoo?
Upwork puts the world's best freelance talent right at our fingertips.
We need an AI chatbot for customer service.
Sorry. You just can't bring up the zoos without getting the I was really about to play some Belle Femme Chocolat, but I was trying to look for something more upbeat. You feel me? You can't bring up the zoos though. Shout out my Haitians. That's gonna get the copyrighted doom. Oh my gosh.
High in the Himalayas, herders have been crossing domestic cattle with wild yaks for centuries, creating hybrids called zoos that survive at altitudes where pure cattle would die. Yaks evolved for life above 14,000 feet, with oversized lungs, more red blood cells, and a metabolism adapted to oxygen-thin air. Domestic cattle evolved at lower elevations and lack these adaptations entirely. The genetic incompatibility between the two species is significant enough that crossing them produces hybrids with mismatched respiratory and circulatory systems. Zoos inherit partial high-altitude adaptations from the yak parent, but not the complete suite, which means they function better than cattle at elevation, but worse than pure yaks.
Okay.
Male zoos are sterile, a typical outcome when crossing species with different chromosome counts. But females are fertile and can be back-crossed with either parent species. The hybrid is used primarily as a pack animal because it combines the yak's strength and cold tolerance with the cow's more docile temperament. But the genetic compromise creates problems. Zoos are prone to altitude sickness at the highest elevations where yaks thrive, and they overheat more easily at lower altitudes where cattle are comfortable. They exist in a narrow middle zone where neither parent would be optimal, and they only persist because humans keep breeding them. Evolution spent millions of years separating cattle and yaks across altitude and geography. Herders forced them together because they needed something that could carry loads at 10,000 feet.
Right.
Iron Age pigs. Here's the part that's genuinely unsettling. When domestic pigs escape and breed with wild boar, the offspring don't stay domestic. They revert to a wild phenotype within a single generation, growing tusks, developing thick, bristly coats, and exhibiting full wild boar aggression and survival instincts.
Them boar genes is strong as hell, bro. This is what they think when a white shorty bring home a nigga, they be like, yo, you gonna regress to a heathen, bro. This is what they be think is gonna happen, bro. No, I promise. The kid's still gonna end up as a normal person, bro. You got you.
This isn't gradual de-domestication over multiple generations. This is one breeding cycle, and suddenly you've got an animal that looks and acts like it was never domesticated at all. The domestic pig is a direct descendant of the wild boar, domesticated around 9,000 years ago. But the genetic changes that make pigs docile, fast-growing, and fat are incredibly fragile. They're mostly regulatory genes that suppress wild traits rather than erase them. When a domestic pig breeds with a boar, those suppressed traits come roaring back. The offspring, sometimes called Iron Age pigs,
I can lend y'all
grow
my voice,
slower
but that's
than
it.
domestic
I'm not
pigs.
gonna. I can lend y'all my voice upbeat, but like other than that, probably like not. But like if you got me some lines or something you need me to record, I could probably do that.
But faster than pure wild boar. They develop the boar's elongated snout, longer legs, and lean muscle structure. Males grow tusks that curve upward from the lower jaw, and both sexes become dangerously aggressive, particularly when cornered or protecting young. What makes this so striking is that particularly when cornered or protecting young. What makes this so striking is that domestication, which we think of as a permanent transformation, is actually just a thin layer of genetic suppression sitting on top of wild instincts that never went away. One generation of hybridization and that suppression fails. These animals are now a major invasive species problem in parts of the United States, Australia, and Europe, where feral domestic pigs have interbred with wild boar and created populations of hybrids that are more adaptable and destructive than either parent species. They're too smart to eradicate, too aggressive to ignore, and they're spreading. Evolution spent thousands of years building the wild boar. Right. Humans spent 9,000 years suppressing its wildness. One cross, and it all comes back. If this sparked your curiosity, consider subscribing so you don't miss future animal content.
Chat, do you think y'all saw an animal that I can't beat on this list? Can we just go to the beginning real quick? Can we really just look at it? And let's be really objective about this. Let's be really objective about this. Let's start from the bottom. Let's start from the bottom. Let's start from the bottom. I'm beating a pig. I'm beating a pig. I'm not gonna lie, Zoe to Zoe, this one is a little bit of competition. This one's a little bit of a competition. I say it's up in the air. I wouldn't be mad if you guys lean this towards the Zoe. I think this one's up in the air. I wouldn't be mad if you lean it to the Zoe. A pheasant, that's Thanksgiving turkey. This nigga turkey. This is chicken right here. This is a Popeye special. The leopard leopard thingy, its brain literally doesn't work. Shout out to the leopard. Shout out to the leopard. Full respects. You have to have full brain cells to beat me. That doesn't beat me. The narwhal, easy. I just beat it, take it onto the earth. It can't breed for real, and it's already extinct, so already lost once. It's gonna lose again. The cama, it's not built like that. It's literally tiny, short legs, overly getting cooked. Come on now. I'm not letting no fish with lip fillers beat me in a fight. Overly. I might be the first person to drown a fish. I ain't gonna lie. That's not winning in a fight.
The liger.
Now the gorilla bear. Shoot. I'm not gonna lie. That's a little bit. The gorilla bear is the gorilla is gonna end you. Okay. I feel like you are a little biased right now towards the gorilla, which is a little weird because it's not the one streaming for you. But yeah, sure, be biased. I think it's a little bit fair. I think it just really depends on the setting. I feel like it depends on the setting and where we're at, and it's a toss up in the air. I wouldn't mind if you think these two right here are toss up in the air, leaning towards me. Toss up in the air, leaning towards me. I wouldn't be mad at that. The coy wolf, come on, bro. We domesticated dogs once. We could do it again. Don't play with me. The wolfine, if memory serves me right, didn't this one also? No, it's not extinct. Oh, this one's sweet for real. Dolphins are like supposed to be like mean and stuff like that, and then it mixed with a nice ass breed, so it don't have the heart. You feel me? This one don't have the heart. I overly beat this one. The Zors, come on, gang. I'm not letting you like to move it with my ass. Come on, gang. Come on, let's be real. Zors is overly getting packed up. And then liger, it's out of shape. It's out of shape. So realistically, there's like two that give me problems. Everything else is low diff. And then I wouldn't be mad if you say this is a toss-up, but once again, leaning towards me. I think that's good. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure that you click this video right here. It's just as entertaining as the videos that we watch together. Don't take my word on it. Take Big Bro YouTube's word on it. They're the ones who put it up there for you. And I'm going to see y'all in the next one. With that being said, goodbye. Peace. Honey, what good, my dog, my manager. Actually, what's good, Brody? In every game played imaginable on the professional level, there is rules that go unheard of, unwritten, and unspoken that is just known to be followed. For example, at the end of a basketball game, if you're killing a team, you don't go and get free points. You just kind of let them fade out of their misery as the timer ends and the game is over. Well, if you do score, that's considered against those unsaid rules. And this video goes and shows us exactly what that is. This is 0 sportsmanship moments in F1. This is by the Daily Fuel Up. Welcome back. Live. Happy to have y'all. Happy to have y'all. Let's get into it. Let's go. Now, this one sucks in particular because in basketball, if you're unsportsmanlike, we might like push you and you might like get into a little fight. I lose $1 million if you're unsportsmanlike in F1.
I just think it's cheap for the sport.
I mean, that's what they want to think.
A teammate blocked on purpose in qualifying. A partnership destroyed on the final lap.
Well, we're not friends.
A driver lashing out at his own team.
Lance appears to shove his personal trainer out of the way.
Or a title
they did that in the F1 movie, so that was really
defined by revenge over politics.
Today, no way.
These are the most unsportsmanlike Formula 1 moments of all time.
Right.
What do all F1 world champions have in common? Polemics. And Michael Schumacher has a lot of those, starting with the famous one, Monaco 2006. The season was already spicy. And at this circuit, everyone knows the deal. Qualifying is the race. Get pole here and you basically win unless you fumble.
Box now, box for hard. Stay out, stay out, stay out.
So in Q3, the Kaiser drops a 1.
Everything in F1 always seems so tense every single time. I would borderline say that I never see somebody having fun in F1. Every single time, it just looks like the worst thing is happening, bro.
13.898. A solid lap, but not safe, because Alonso was flying too. So what did he do to protect himself?
This is scary.
All of a sudden, a 7-time world champion locks up, and instead of finishing the turn or using the escape road, he straightens the wheel and just stops the Ferrari right there. Of course, Alonso lifts, and the lap is gone. Briatore?
Would he really do something like that?
I don't know.
Wait,
This is the way Ferrari manage, you know.
Now, Ferrari said it was a mistake.
Wait, what? Oh, Len, what's good? Appreciate the first time chat. Welcome to the community. What's good? What's good? Also, what's good, gang? Appreciate the follow. And Fluxy, appreciate the follow. What's happening?
But the real mistake would be you not subscribing to the channel, and you know it. Don't be like Ferrari. Luckily, 8 hours later, the FIA deletes Schumacher's times.
I'm there for many, many years, and people should know better who I am and what I am after all these years.
Dead last, and Alonso wins.
Fernando Alonso wins in Monte Carlo.
The good ending. That was unsportsmanlike with finesse, but there's plenty more from him. In 2010, he was back on the grid with Mercedes, fighting
Oh my gosh, he's a multiple time offender. Wait, is this y'all's Draymond Green? Oh my gosh, I love learning about F1. Wait, is this y'all's Draymond Green? For those of y'all that don't watch basketball and don't know who Draymond Green is, good. Wait, this is y'all's Draymond?
midfield, but still driving like he had a chance to win. Meanwhile, Rubens Barrichello, his ex-teammate, was in a Williams at the Hungaroring right behind him, fighting for the last point available. So with just 4 laps to go and on the main straight, Rubens goes for it, like every other driver would have.
He's trying to Schumacher's almost put him in the wall. Schumacher almost put him in the wall there. A real charge across.
Black flag for that, black flag. That was horrible.
Then he gets a 10th-place grid penalty for the next race.
Why is it a black flag?
And after seeing it back, he has to admit he went too far and apologized to Rubens. This wasn't about the points, maybe just frustration from real.
I'm not gonna lie, I think, okay, a bit of devil's advocate here, I'm racing with you, I want to win. You get what I'm saying? So because of that, it's not even about that I want to put you in the wall, right? It's more so that I'm trying to take the most optimal path to winning that's available to me as possible. You're closing into me and you're next to a wall. I can see how his brain kind of goes like, pushes this dude into the wall. He gets out of like racing you, and now you for sure have the lead. But he didn't, because I think his brain went autopilot to do it, and then he was like, oh shoot, let me not do that. Low key, I'm like, I feel like I kind of understand it just a little bit.
Too far and apologized to Rubens. This wasn't about the points, maybe just frustration from realizing he wasn't on top anymore. However, these types of clashes also happen with
he doesn't gain nothing from coming in first? Why you say he doesn't, like he's not on top anymore?
in the top drivers. So it's 2017 and we're in Baku. For more context, Vettel and Hamilton were in the fight for the championship. It was early in the season, yeah, but at the same time, these two were already the favorites for the title, so there was pressure, loss of it.
Lights out and away we go. Valtteri Bottas pointing towards Lewis Hamilton.
Anyway, it's lap 16 and the safety...
It's so crazy that this $250,000 car is just a work tool vehicle. Like, oh my gosh.
car is out. And while everything looks chill, Lewis complains about the speed.
The safety car needs to
if that's the car that I think it is.
This is too slow.
Meanwhile, instead of keeping up, he lifts a bit to make space and...
Oh, he went into him.
The best part, instead of letting it go, he pulls alongside and one hand comes off the wheel. He's waving, and then out of nowhere...
Wait, he brake tested me. What the going on?
That was just pure road rage.
Vettel literally just
they just bumped wheels too. Is that allowed? I guess like at the beginning, like if somebody messes you up, yeah, I'm gonna mess you back up. Like, is that a thing?
alongside me and turned in and hit me.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. At the beginning of the race, if you mess up my whip and I could catch up to you, I'm frying your whip. I'm already disqualified, right? When you break your car, you can't compete. You don't have a second car on standby and you jump out of it and get into a different one, right? So yeah, if I'm already disqualified, I'm taking your whip. Oh, but then you lose points, huh? Cause like a penalty, huh?
I'm sure this is a big contrast for the people that met Vettel these days. In the end, the stewards gave him a 10-second stop-and-go penalty, which was
but F1 is more honorable.
Better punishment than the next guy. Over 16 was one of the biggest rivalries in recent go penalty, which was a better punishment than the next guy. Over 16 was one of
that was him, his editing.
Biggest rivalries in recent years. However, the moment when they showed their true colors was in Austria. By then, the Silver Arrow's friendship was already over. So in the final lap, while Nico was leading, Lewis catches him, clearly not interested in settling for second.
Wait, Lewis Hamilton?
Turn two, his teammates got the inside line, they've touched again!
Hamilton opens the DRS and goes around the outside. Clean move. And Rosberg, he just keeps the car straight. Wings touch.
My goal was on some dirty. Hold on, wait, no. Nah, I'm always in support of being a good teammate. I'm not gonna lie. Hold on.
Carbon fiber.
What's the story? Why don't they like each other? Tell me that the other dude was in the wrong.
They're everywhere.
And is he going to come onto the track and touch his teammate? He's now got damage. Nico Rosberg. Bits of carbon fiber are showering the track. And Lewis Hamilton does manage to overtake his teammates.
Lewis survives and drives off to win.
Hamilton takes the Austrian Grand Prix. The 250th Grand Prix win by a British driver.
Nico's front
Yo, that is so crazy.
wing explodes, gets stuck under the car and throws sparks like a broken toaster. He limps home in fourth.
Oh my gosh, he got the Mario Kart treatment. He went from first to fourth. Oh my. That's so horrible. That's so horrible. Somebody hit him with a blue shell. Not even somebody, his teammate.
Bring home the championship leader in fourth place, minus a front wing.
Austria ended with sparks under the car, an unlucky finish for Hamilton. But things hadn't...
Mind you, $1 million gone. Like front wing, boom, dang, they damaged it. There goes $1 million in repairs. Just why? Cause.
Always gone his way. Hungary 2007 didn't just mess up a qualifying session, it straight up blew a team apart. McLaren on one side with Fernando Alonso, a double world champion, proven, experienced, still convinced he was the guy. And Lewis Hamilton on the other side, the rookie that didn't drive like one anymore. The drama started on qualifying. The team asked Hamilton to let Alonso through to have an extra lap. Alonso expected it. Hamilton didn't give it back on the installation lap. And you already know what happens when the protocol is broken. Then we get to the end of Q3. Alonso pits and mechanics finish, but they make him wait. And when the lolly pops up, seconds go by and Hamilton is stuck behind him, watching the clock die.
Yep, they want him out of there. Now Alonso's not getting on with it. Only a minute and 40 to go. Is he blocking Hamilton here?
He knew exactly what he was doing. Hamilton misses his lap and Alonso gets on pole.
Here's Hamilton not going terribly quickly.
What? Yo, oh my gosh, F1 is messy. Bro, this is what I be talking about. I talk about this all the time, bro. Everybody needs drama in their life. How you get it, though, really tells what type of individual you could end up being. It really dictates the type of individual you could be. Bro, like, gang, this is so drama heavy and intensive. This is literally like, no, he didn't. Like, everybody needs drama in their life, bro. Like, it's just a matter of how you get it. I don't care who you are, man, woman, child, all around, bro. You need some drama in your life, because F1, yo, I would have been eating off of this for weeks if I was watching F1 at that time.
Slowly making his way back to pits. Ted Kravitz, what can you tell us?
Ron Dennis
Right,
was out
ABC.
of his chair. He's absolutely furious.
While Alonso faster than anybody in the middle sector. Is he going to take provisional pole position on this very controversial day? Drives like, yes, he does!
Until he gets a grid penalty. During all this, Ron Dennis was furious. He threw his headphones and went to talk to Alonso's physiotherapist.
Not entirely sure who that gentleman is that Ron Dennis has got by the collar, but certainly I believe he's a Hispanic speaker.
And Lewis, well, you could see from his face in the interview he wasn't amused.
Those rather
They got orange juice at the press runs?
strange delays before you went out for both runs. Was that your decision or the team holding you back?
Thing was holding me back.
And if we're talking about reckless drivers, there's one that...
And he cannot deal with adversity.
That's so crazy, bro.
Whenever anything is not going his way, he lashes out with unnecessary anger.
Well, maybe right.
Ah, Yelena, that's ball knowledge. She said Jake the dog from Adventure Time. If you didn't have problems in your life would be very boring. That's fact. That's fact. That's fact.
Russell overreacted. But if you saw Verstappen in his rookie days, there's a chance you would agree with him. Clear example, Mexico 2016. With only 3 laps left and 3 guys fighting for the last step of the podium, of course it was gonna be tense. So when Sebastian Vettel came to attack Max in turn 1, he locked up.
That is Sebastian Vettel, and that is a big lockup from Max Verstappen, and he goes wide, and Sebastian Vettel, as Verstappen goes onto the grass, might be able to come and take the remaining podium place.
Are you allowed to just do that? Are you allowed to do that? Is that a thing? Is this possible? No, okay.
But not only that, he started backing him off to Ricciardo.
Single file.
Or are you not seeing what I'm seeing? He's backing me off into Ricciardo.
And he's not just backing him off, Ricciardo's having a go down the inside, and somehow Sebastian Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo don't come together. Ricciardo giving it absolutely everything in his bid.
Their driving is so precise, though. I will say that, bro.
Race, Max got a time penalty and lost the podium. Funnily enough, that same year, the FIA stepped in and banned moving under braking. However, to be fair, this wasn't new. All through 2016, Max had this thing where he...
Bro, every time a car touch each other, my heart just, like, eviscerates, because I'm like... Every single touch is like, that's 100,000, that's 100,000, that's 2 million, that's 1 million, that's 100,000.
Wait until a rival fully committed, then move late under braking. And he also had this special thing to do, especially with Ferrari drivers.
Here we are on board with Kimi Räikkönen, gaining all the time. Verstappen moves over, and then they touch as Verstappen a bit later on the brakes. Yes, he is, and he pushes Kimi Räikkönen wide.
You have to let the Red Bull pass because his only interest is pushing me off the circuit completely.
And again.
And what's going to happen this time, I wonder, because it seems that the Ferrari's got the straight line speed. He's also got DRS as well. Which way is he going to go? Oh, and Verstappen.
Hey, come on, this is ridiculous now. He's just turning when I'm going full speed on the right.
So yeah, basically a driver forced a rule change. Pretty wild. But it didn't stop there for him. Even though Brazil has this thing about...
Isn't that just good driving? Is that not what's allowed to happen in F1? Like, why is that BS? If we're driving and you're trying to pass me and I get in front of you so you can't pass me, aren't you just supposed to, like, juke me? I know I sound so, like... But you got to understand, my F1 knowledge is very limited. Is that not how that's supposed to happen? Aren't I supposed to essentially, like, seal you off? Like, in the NBA, when a player shoots a shot, this is a left-handed shot. That's why that looked like that. When a player shoots a shot, right, and they miss, right, the opposing team's job so that they could get the ball is boxing out the other player, and that's completely legal. So you're allowed to stand there, put your arms out, and stop the other player from like being in position to grab the ball. That's called a box out. Is this not essentially that equivalent for F1 where like, hey, I'm gonna get in front of you so you can't pass me?
Taken out as in a PK.
I'm gonna assume they can't do that because of how fast they are going. I'm just honestly guessing though. I mean, yeah, we all guessing.
Would that be? Astonishing drives and Sunday fightbacks might be a little overshadowed by some controversies.
It's F1 stand, not basketball. I gotta be able to draw some cohesion from somewhere, you know, comparison analysis.
Because at first in 2021 while fighting for the championship, he did one move that took all of us back into those rookie days.
At the start of the sprint, he's trying to take the lead from Verstappen, but he is forced wide by Verstappen, and Verstappen himself has to go off the track.
Well, at least it was against a rival, but 2022 was kind of a betrayal. By then, the Dutchman had already won everything. Two-time world champ, season racked. But for Checo, the story was different. He was fighting Leclerc for second place in the championship. So here's the setup. On lap 67, Max overtakes his teammate to see if he can fight Alonso.
On Sergio Perez, down the inside, Perez fights it with one hand tied behind his back a little bit.
Spoiler, he couldn't. So what does RB say?
Max, if we don't pass Fernando on the exit of 12, can we let Checo through, please?
He just keeps going and crosses the line.
Max, let Checo through, please. Max, what happened?
I told you already last time. You guys don't ask that again to me, okay? Are we clear about that?
Checo's reaction hurt the most. Calm, but clearly wounded.
I'm sorry about that, Checo.
We'll debrief everything afterwards.
Yeah, it shows who he really is.
Teammate fights will always...
You're Haitian? Did I know that? I don't think we've ever talked about that. You say so few words per interaction that I didn't know you were Asian. What? What's good, gang? I didn't know
Nothing compares to title deciders. In the last episode of the season in 1994, the writers chose full drama. By the time everyone got to Australia, the mood was already awful. Schumacher had been insanely good all year, but a 2-race suspension meant Damon Hill was suddenly right there. Last race, 1 point difference. Two amazing drivers fighting for their first crown. A completely normal and clean race until lap 36. Michael loses the rear, slides onto the grass, and hits the wall. He knew his race was done. So, what was the plan?
That's funny, Uppy. I have to take your firstborn from you. There's just no other way. Like, I have to claim your firstborn from you. What other thing could possibly, like amend this feeling that I have in my heart?
The Kaiser flew into the barriers, and the only remaining contender on track limped back to the pits, only to realize that he had a broken suspension.
You see the front left wheel is locked up. Eamon obviously extremely worried. He knows in his heart of hearts that it is all over.
And what's really scary is what came next. Practically the exact same script. Final race of the 1997 season with two title contenders, being Schumi the one ahead by 1 point. But the real deal came in lap 47. Kaiser's tyres were going off, things weren't feeling great, and Villeneuve saw his chance, so he went for the inside at dry sack. Michael's response? The cars touched. Nevertheless, this time Villeneuve kept going, and the German slid straight into the gravel. Jacques managed to take the check.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. You gotta pick my car up and put it back onto the track. What are you talking about? Some try revving it and then just waving it off, bro. Lift me up and put me on the thing. How much does an F1 car weigh?
In third, which was enough to win the championship. Meanwhile,
can't be too crazy.
Fallout was brutal. The FIA erased Schumacher from the entire 1997 standings.
Though the act was apparently deliberate, it was instinctive and it was not premeditated. World Council therefore decided to exclude Michael Schumacher from the results of the 1997 Formula One World Championship.
Still the only time that's ever happened. It seems his strategy didn't work twice, unlike Senna's, because we all knew Ayrton was super fast, but he didn't always beat you by being faster. Let's get this straight first. He was already one of the best qualifiers ever, always right on the limit, but for him, that still wasn't enough. He wasn't risking it, so the move was simple. After doing a good lap, instead of politely vanishing back into the pits, he'd stay out, cooling down, and funnily enough, always on the racing line. He wasn't just trying to slow down drivers, he tried to straight up murder them. Luckily for Senna, team radios were not that famous in the late 80s, because if they were, he would have probably been verbally assassinated. Just like Kimi Räikkönen radios, who argued like a guy who just wanted everyone to stop existing.
Hey, stop late now.
On track, Kimi was calm, fast, and totally locked in. However, the moment he pressed that radio button, he was a PR menace. You knew anytime he was about to say anything, the censoring.
Hey, bro, I hear everything that you're saying, but we need this in basketball too, bro. The more audio we can hear per person playing the game, the better.
Team had a job.
Let's
go with a classic.
Okay, Kimi, next car behind you is Alonso. I'll keep you updated on the pace.
Just leave me alone, I know what to do.
But hey, at least that wasn't a joke. In the end, you can't blame him. He did know what he was doing. Then we have real threats to other drivers. Monaco 2013, Perez makes a move. They touch, and Kimi goes on the radio saying,
Oh my God,
and I'm all
bro.
for it. It's comedy
the car
gold.
Literally breaks away like Lego pieces when you're out of like those little freaking points on the game. You know what I'm talking about?
This makes you realize Kimi doesn't like chaos. So when there's some madness happening during a red flag, like the car's about to drive off without him,
Steering wheel. Claps the steering wheel here. Steering wheel. Hey. Hey, steering wheel. Somebody tell him to give it to me.
the best part is, even in his last season, he was the exact same guy.
Okay, give me box if you can hear me. No, negative.
But you answer still.
Petty?
No.
Iconic?
No, negative, but you answer still. Yo, watch out, bro.
Also, yeah. And that pretty much sums up who Kimi is. He never changed. Everyone just learned to mute him. At least he snapped with words and silence and never went physical. That's why this one hits different. And this wasn't some old school paddock drama from the VHS days. This was modern Formula One with HD cameras everywhere. In 2023, Lance Stroll was going downhill throughout the season, and Qatar was no exception. Dude was still searching for pace that just wasn't really there. So qualifying goes wrong. Q1 exit.
Stroll goes over the line. It's only 17th, 4 races in a row. He's out in Q1.
He then jumps out of the car, clearly furious. And that's when his longtime assistant, Henry Howe, tries to guide him to FIA weigh-in, but Strulovic just snapped.
Who's struggling to
I don't even move my camera. It looks like it's about to get crazy.
find the answers at the moment. Ooh.
Not an accident or a misunderstanding. A shove. Then comes the...
That's the crazy part. That line ass. Man, people be calling the NBA sweet. That line that little shove, bro.
Interview. Barely any answers.
Alonso said during the race he won't overtake you. But
we were 6 and 7 points for the team.
But he is higher in the Drivers' Championship, so I could imagine that if he overtakes.
Oh dang! I ran out of running out of storage with literally running out of storage with 34 seconds in the video left is so abysmal, bro. That is so crazy. That is so crazy. That is so crazy. Okay. Nah, that's actually insane. Okay, we're back. Sorry.
Takes you. That it's good for him in
Classic
championship.
Stanley, you're right.
He's right over here. Why don't you ask him?
I already spoke with him.
Amazing how you can have that attitude while being a driver at that level. The FIA investigates it for bringing the sport into disrepute. The outcome? Private apology. That's it. Moments like this prove unsportsmanlike behavior in F1 isn't always
Man, I'm trying to see some more. What
about
are you
cheating the
talking about?
rules. So
I'm trying to see somebody get it really. I'm trying to see you get somebody helmet. You mean like, yeah, I don't mess with you. We just lost the race. We beef and let's be better about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm with it. That wasn't
sometimes it's just pressure winning,
Not that I
which
need
reminds me.
violence or nothing. I'm just saying though, it'd be fire, but it was like really more passionate.
In case you don't remember why Stroll is so hated, I'll just leave this video for you to refresh your memory. And as always, thank you for watching.
fire video though, man. I love seeing the zero sportsmanship moments. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you click this video. Don't take my word for it. Take Big Bro YouTube's word on it. They're the ones who put it up there for you. And I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.